Today on Inquirer, Philippine economy grows by 7.6% in the third quarter of 2022. Speaking to Cambodian business leaders, President Bongbong Marcos says the administration is steering the Philippine economy in the right direction. Justice Secretary Jesus Crispin Remulla eyes re-evaluation of Bureau of Corrections personnel. And UP Manila graduate tops October 2022 Physician Licensure Examinations. Good evening. President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. is present on the first day of the Association of Southeast Asian Nations Summit or ASEAN Summit. Joining us live is Beatrice Penlac for the details on the activity of the President. Bay?
Neil, at a round-table meeting between Marcos and several business leaders in Cambodia early this morning, Marcos expressed belief that the route being taken by his administration is taking the Philippine economy in the right direction. He, however, pointed out that there are external forces which hamper the growth of the economy. But despite this, he took note of the recent report of the Philippine Statistics Authority, which showed that the unemployment rate stood at 5%, lower than the jobless Filipinos recorded in August. The president also said the Philippine economy, as measured by the gross domestic product, has grown by 7.6% during quarter 3 of this year. Marcos also called on Cambodian businesses to set their sights on possibly forging investments in the Philippines, which he said is on its way to recovery from the COVID-19 pandemic. But he said he is not talking about the Philippine economy's recovery, but instead its transformation, as he noted that things are going to be different from everything that was done in 2019. The president also brought up the shortfall of homes in the country, which he said pushed his administration to pursue a very aggressive housing program that he admits is ambitious, but nevertheless, he said they will try very hard to achieve it. To note, the Department of Human Settlements and Urban Development earlier warned that if the Marcos administration's housing program does not receive its funding, the country's housing backlog may further worsen by 2028. Neil, the president also met with Vietnamese Prime Minister Pham Minh Chinh, where Marcos expressed interest in expanding relations between the Philippines and Vietnam across several areas such as defense, trade, investment, maritime security, and agriculture. The Vietnamese leader, for his part, congratulated the Philippines for its COVID-19 response and high GDP growth rate. Back to you, Neil.
I want to talk about the West Philippine Sea because this is a topic usually raised during the ASEAN Summit. So the president earlier expressed her hopes to discuss this issue with Chinese President Xi Jinping. So do we have any updates on this?
That's right, Neil. Marcos did say that during his flight to Cambodia last night. He said that this is something that he hopes to discuss with the Chinese president, considering that it's really impossible not to mention it when all the ASEAN leaders are going to be meeting for that summit. Among the things he said he hopes to discuss is establishing a code of conduct between the ASEAN and China. But as of now, Neil, wala pa tayong narinig na updates about that conversation that he promised.
Okay, Bay, we'll wait for updates on that. Another thing here is, ano yung mga activities that we're expecting of the president in the coming days there in ASEAN Summit, and what are in his priority list?
Neil, he's going to be in Cambodia until November 13. So there's a lot of time to meet with global leaders. Of course, a lot of conferences are set up for all of them to meet. But among the things that he mentioned he will plan to do as well is to meet with Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau and French President Emmanuel Macron, among many other leaders that he plans to meet. But in his priority list is really meeting the Filipino community, as he mentioned in an interview with reporters as well.
Okay, thanks, Bay. That's Beatrice Pinlac reporting live. The Philippine economy grew by 7.6% in the third quarter of 2022, according to the Philippine Statistics Authority. Data from the Philippine Statistics Authority shows this figure is faster than 7% in the same period of 2021 and 7.5% in the second quarter this year. National statistician Dennis Mapa said that the country's output of goods and services grew for the sixth quarter in a row. Before that, Philippine GDP suffered 5 consecutive quarters of decline, from negative 0.7% in the first quarter of 2020 at the onset of the pandemic, bottoming at negative 16.9% in the second quarter that year, until negative 3.8% in the first quarter of 2021. Economic Planning Secretary Arsenio Balisacan said the latest readout places the Philippines second in the region after Vietnam and ahead of Indonesia in terms of economic growth. According to Balisacan, this turnout signifies that Filipino families are close to returning to pre-pandemic life as more people visit restaurants and hotels and engage in recreational activities within the country. Justice Secretary Jesus Crispin Remulla says a re-evaluation of Bureau of Corrections personnel is being planned. Remulla shared that he is talking about the plan with BuCor officer in charge Gregorio Catapang Jr. The DOJ chief says they have to reorient the people and check individuals who are honest because their work is difficult. While the secretary did not vow 100% success, he promised that they will do everything to succeed in their endeavor. The re-evaluation will allow the DOJ and BuCor to identify the personnel who will be sent to other prison facilities across the country. Asked if there are personnel who may possibly be removed in the re-evaluation, Remulla replied that they will just do early retirement. Recently, the BuCor seized contrabands, thousands of canned beers and shabu inside the new Bilibid prison's maximum security compound. Meanwhile, BuCor Director General Gerald Bantag has been suspended to give way for an investigation on the death of the alleged middleman and the killing of a broadcaster, Percy Lapid. A University of the Philippines Manila College of Medicine graduate topped the 2022 Physician Licensure Examination, the Professional Regulation Commission announced today. Justin Adriel Zenta Gautier Togonon led the list of passers with a rating of 89%, followed by another UP Manila graduate, Francesca Marie Abi Lagrosa, who scored 88.75%. A total of 3,826 examinees out of 5,958 passed the PLE held last month. Togonon graduated magna cum laude in his medical degree and class valedictorian in UP Manila College of Medicine. In an interview with INQUIRER.net, Togonon shared his dream to be part of an improved Philippine healthcare system.
Yung mga doktor, we'd want na may sulong talaga na health is a right talaga sana for all Filipinos, na wala na salang Pilipino na mamumulubi dahil sa mga bills sa medical na expenses sa hospital. And of course, on our side naman as healthcare professionals, frontliners, no? So hindi lang sana yung doktor, pati rin sana yung mga kasama namin sa healthcare team. Very, very important yung roles nila sa pagpapatakbo ng ospital.
Alamin naman natin ang mainit na balita sa mundo ng showbiz kasama ang ating bandera editor Irvin Santiago. Irvin?
Hi Neil, at sa lahat ng mga kabandera natin all over the universe, ito na nga ang latest bandera chika. Ipinagyabang ng social media personality na si Zian Gasa sa publiko ang kanyang kayamanan kung saan makikita ngang malapit na siyang maging isang bilyonaryo. Shook ang mga netizens nang makita at mabasa ang isang Facebook post ng negosyante na nagkukumpirmang umabot na nga sa 463 million ang kanyang net worth. Walang takot na idinetalye ni Zian Gasa ang detalyadong breakdown ng kanyang yaman na ikinaloka ng mga netizens. Hindi raw kasi talaga nila akalain na ganon ka-rich ang controversial na SOCMED personality. Diretsahan namang inamin ni Zian na hindi niya ibinahagi sa publiko kung magkano ang kanyang network para magsilbing inspirasyon sa ibang nangangarap na yumaman. Ang gusto lang daw niya asarin at inggitin ang mga bashers. Ang dialogue pa nga niya, posting this not to inspire, but to brag. para maramdaman ng mga haters ko kung gaano sila kahirap. At buti na lang daw wala siyang asawa kaya wala rin siyang kahate. Base sa dokumentong ipinost ni Zian, makikita ang detalyadong breakdown ng kanyang assets na may kabuuang halaga na 501,704,700 pesos. Ang liabilities naman niya ay nasa 38,125,308 pesos. Ngayong buwan ng Nobyembre, ang total assets niya ay 463,579,392 pesos. At sa susunod na taon, sana raw ay maabot na niya ang 1 billion mark net worth at maging debt-free goal next year. Sa mga social media posts ni Zia nitong mga nakaraang buwan, may mga negosyo at investment daw siya sa iba't ibang bansa, kabilang na riyan ang Dubai at Thailand. Samantala, sa isa pa niyang FB post, mababasa ang kanyang mensahe patungkol sa pagkakaroon lagi ng positive energy para sa mas lalong ikauunlad ng buhay ng bawat tao. Ang dialogue niya, sinusumpa ko na lahat ng makakabasa nito ay makakaramdam ng ginhawa this month sa financial difficulties na kanyang pinagdadaanan. This is not law of attraction. This is positive energy na pinapasa ko sa inyo mula sa swerte ko sa buhay. Nako, sana Zian Gasa magbilang anghel ka dyan para lahat nga tayo yumaman na. At yan ang bandera chika natin for today. Thanks, Neil.
Salamat, Irvin. Mapapasa ng all ka na lang talaga, no? And these are the stories you need to know today. I'm Neil Mercado. Follow INQUIRER.net on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and Reddit. For more stories, visit INQUIRER.net. Good evening.